I doubt whether any single man did more to increase the pleasure of the humble club golfer. The fact that the course necessitated a scoring system to make it easier for amateur golfers fills me with a little bit of fear, if I'm honest. So plaques all over the place celebrating history. That for me is like winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
So Wallasey has the original. Augusta has the replica and the copy. Episode 69, the Wallasey Golf Club preview. So hands up, how many of you have ever played a Stableford comp? I'm guessing it's going to be every single one of you. Every Saturday morning roll-up, every society day, every works golf do. Now, how many of you knew where Stableford was actually invented? Well, this week, yeah, I knew that, but...
Well, only since yesterday.
We'll presume people didn't, but yeah, we know now. But this week, we are actually going to be playing golf from the exact spot where a bloke got so fed up of tearing up his scorecard that he decided he was going to make a system of scoring in golf that actually saved golf for the rest of us mere mortals. Now, there is a guy called Henry Longhurst who said this about Dr. Frank Stableford. He said, I doubt whether any single man did more to increase the pleasure of the humble club golfer. Now, we'll get to that shortly, but before we carry on, could I ask you out there, whether you're listening or watching this episode, please follow or subscribe this, in inverted commas, great podcast. The numbers are growing like mind-blowingly, and it does enable us to get better and better content out to you. So please do that for a microsecond of your time. That'd be great. Now back to the episode.
Can I just...
Do you want to rewind and go back? And...
Yeah, just rewind. Is that because I've not been on for 4 months?
Yeah, the ratings are through the roof at the minute, Jim. Yeah. Well,
sorry.
This
I'm
episode
back.
will...
And episode 69 as well.
Of all the episodes to come back on, Jim.
Pardon? I've missed this.
Oh, God. Episode 69, Jim's back. Anyway, let's get to our preview of Wallasey Golf Club. So I'll give you some background about how it's come about, Jim, and a little bit about this course. So Wallasey is ranked 99 on our list.
And it wasn't in the original top 100, wasn't it?
Correct. It wasn't in our original. It came back into the list sort of early to mid last year. And because this is our thing and rules don't count apparently on our thing, we decided to shove our rule of our list is locked in because this course is an hour away.
Yeah.
So we're like, right, let's get it back in. So we then amended our rule to say, if a course that we've played gets knocked out, that's when we'll freeze it. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed to now that hasn't happened. So we're glad to bring Wallasey back in. Now, as a result, I contacted Wallasey and said, you're in our top 100 list. This is what we're doing. Can we arrange a tee time just in general? And we have played 18 courses, and some courses to varying degrees of involvement have kind of got involved with the podcast. Or would you be keen to do that? So a gentleman called Gareth, who I believe is the general manager of Wallasey, wrote me a lovely email back saying, brilliant, so glad to hear about this endeavour that you're taking on. We would absolutely love to get involved. I'm not going to do it. Somebody else is going to do it, which I thought was brilliant. It was a really,
That's why you have a
great
marketing team, isn't it?
So we're actually getting an interview with a chap called John, who is the course manager. So he's not like...
So that's a first.
It is a first, and actually we're quite excited by that because it's it's specifically going to be able to have a good chat with him about the actual golf course. So that's going to be wonderful. So we've got an interview lined up with him before we go out and play. So that's going to be great. And actually, the communication that we've had with everybody at Wallasey so far has been exemplary. So we expected that kind of warm Merseyside. We're all welcome, and that's exactly what we got.
Well, I've got a lot of family who've lived in Wallasey in the past.
Have you?
My grandmother was lived there for many, many years.
Is that going to be a good or bad thing when we go there?
Well, she didn't play golf.
Oh, no, we're okay, right. She wasn't called McLaren, or she was like, can we say the name
she was
McLaren?
McLaren.
Oh, we could say we could confidently say the McLaren name in Wallasey, and we're all right.
You can now.
Yeah, maybe not previously. Eek. We'll gloss over that, shall we?
We won't talk about the other part of the family.
Oh, goodness me. I love stuff like that.
We haven't had to talk about this off air.
the bad side of the family. We'll forget about them. Well, look, that's how it all came about, and we're lucky because it is near us. That's always was great anyway. But it is on that. It's described as the Gulf Coast,
England's Gulf Coast,
Southport, all the way down to kind of Wallasey area, and it's just it's this little parcel of land, and we've only just this last week played Hillside, which was a wonderful experience. So to do two very close to each other, and again they were really super friendly. So it's obviously a thing, which is nice. So
my brethren,
we have and like it was well. You said, how was it at Hillside? And I was like, lived up to all expectations. You're like, great. I'm glad that happened. So we've got high expectations from Wallasey. Now we have high expectations from Wallasey for a couple of reasons. Ranking would suggest, it's just clawing its way in, whatever. But we're talking some serious history at this place. Like Stableford scoring system, which everybody's used, was invented there, is incredible. The fact that the course necessitated a scoring system to make it easier for amateur golfers fills me with a little bit of fear, if I'm honest. However, let's take it as it is and take it the way it was intended. So there is a little bit of what we'd call functional history. So that's things like it's founded in 1891, so it's a really old golf club, one of the original ones. Members from Royal Liverpool actually set Wallasey up. The story goes that either it was because Royal Liverpool Hoylake was getting a bit too crowded, or because the businessmen of Liverpool just wanted somewhere that was a little bit easier and closer to sneak off for a few holes after work, sort of thing. So we don't know, but it was a bit of a breakaway, and that really struck a chord with me because Chris is doing his whole breakaway round at Loch Lomond, so I thought he was supposed to be here today.
Wow.
I can stick the knife in as much as I want now, can't I?
You can indeed.
Yeah, so, he's seen as he's decided to break, I thought, well, let's bring that up. But, so that was founding. It was designed by old Tom Morris, a name who's come up a few times. And the original St. Andrews designer, all that kind of thing. And it's obviously something then that the club are rightly proud of, and that should be something that's front and centre. James Braid has had his hands all over the design as well, and then Bobby Jones. So Bobby Jones, there's a good story about him. That when he won his Grand Slam, so he's one of 4 golfers, I think, to have done the Grand Slam. Someone's going to correct me here. I'm probably really wrong with that, but Bobby Jones, when he won it, he qualifying for the Open, he had to qualify at Wallasey and Hoylake to then go and win the Open at Hoylake, sort of thing. So he did his qualifying that year at Wallasey. So so that's a little sort of claim to fame. They're like the general history bits, the bits that we over-egg sometimes, but we can gloss over now.
History, though.
But there is this one massive bit of history, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like, you can't ignore.
You cannot.
So shall I tell you what Frank Barney, Gorton, Stableford, what happened and how he came out?
Yeah, I didn't read much into that history of how it came about, actually. I just knew it happened at Wallasey.
Happened there, yeah. And there's a picture of him on the website. He's a very straight-backed, mustachioed, older gentleman, doctor.
Real doctor or PhD?
I don't actually know if he's a real doctor. I think no, he was. No. He was actually a surgeon. So he was a surgeon during the war as well. So, let's not make light of his doctorate. Yeah, absolutely. But the story is, so the Winds of Wirral were making a mockery of the traditional scoring system at the time, which was called the bogey scoring system. So what was happening with that was, I still don't actually quite understand what that old scoring system was. And I've only just actually, to be fair, got my head around Stableford just recently as we all figured it out. But let's ignore that for a minute. But he was basically, the issue was that after a couple of holes, people were so far down or so far beat up by the course, they were just like, what's the point in going out and playing? So he went, actually, I'm going to devise a system here that keeps everyone interested. So at most, you lose a hole. That's it. I think it might have been that it was the other way around. Sorry. He was like, if you have a disaster, it's only that one hole that you have the blow up on. Yeah, death taxes and Jim Sniggers. You only have a blow up on one hole. There you go. So Stableford himself said, I was practicing on the second fairway at Wallasey one day in the latter part of 1931, when the thought ran through my mind that many players in competitions got very little fun since they tore up their cards after playing only a few holes, and I wondered if anything could be done about it. So he designed the system, so you can only lose that one hole and that's it. You can still carry on and score points and whatever. And, like, for me, bear in mind this system is now just universal. Everybody's done it. Everybody's used it. Some of us only just got to understand it, but you all know it. I mean, what wonderful! What a bit of history that is, and what claim to fame that Wallasey has got.
It's massive. It revolutionised the game of golf. Amateur golfers, and
I mean, I thought sort of thing like this guy. He's this like war hero, surgeon guy, whatever. And he's the most relatable man in golf history, because he's not gone, oh, I'm trying to make the game harder for people. I'm actually like, he's trying to stop us lot from having a shit round of golf. Like, that's what he's done. He's just decided, no, this needs to be fun for people. And like, you shouldn't want to be like lobbing your clubs in the sea on the beach or whatever because you're so frustrated with it. And that every single event, we run a charity day, golf day, we run society days, all that kind of thing. They all exist because of this one guy. Like, every level of golfer has a chance to score points competitively through the whole match, and you can take on the best in the world and beat them. Like, he's an absolute hero. The man is an absolute hero, and you just sort of think like, you know, there should be more made about him. Like, I didn't realise it was
it's got his name attached to it.
I didn't realise it was a guy though first. I just thought it was like there was a place called Stableford and that's where the system was developed and whatever. So absolutely eye-opening, but wonderful. Like, what a guy he is.
And has it changed over the last 90 years?
The Stableford system?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Has it remained exactly the same?
It's remained exactly the same, because I think it was good enough. Phenomenal. Like, he just devised it so well at that time. I think there was a bit of a blip in the middle. I think he tried one version and then he iterated it to another one, but let's not go into that.
No,
we don't need to do that.
But it hasn't changed fundamentally or materially since...
Not as far as I know.
The 30s, basically, 1930s.
It was that good then, but it's not changed since. So part of the way we want to do our previews now, and this is our third preview now.
I missed the first two.
You missed the sorry, Jim. Well,
are
you sorry?
I was asleep. It was a heavy night.
Now Chris isn't here. This is going so wonderfully well, isn't it, on previews? But we're trying to do it a bit more structured so that we have a set few things to discuss. One of those being reviews, which is your territory, Jim. Now, we all know reviews obviously are subjective, and obviously with really good golf courses, you're not really going to look for the gold in the good reviews, are you?
Oh, absolutely not.
The real gold is in the 1 stars, the 2 stars, the road is inaccessible, all that kind of stuff. So over to you, Jim. What have you found?
They were generally very, very positive. Lots and lots of 5-star reviews. There were no 1-star reviews, which is really disappointing because you just want some idiot to say something completely outlandish.
Stupid, yeah. Gutted.
That gives us a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
That's great for Wallasey, by the way.
It is wonderful for Wallasey, but shit for my section.
Your segment and shit for our podcast as well.
Exactly.
Like, we want something funny.
We want to bring in a little bit of comedy every now and then.
Of course we do.
Even though we're not funny people, but no. But generally, the comments were fantastic. You know, excellent course, outstanding club. A lot of praise for the welcome and for the staff.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That bodes well.
It's Merseyside, so you would expect nothing less.
Yeah, nice warm Scouse welcome.
Apart from SNA, but we won't go on about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interestingly
Long time ago.
You bring that up. It was a long time ago, but as we were on Hillside, it obviously neighbours SNA, they're split by the railway line, and we could look over and see, and we could see the famous Gumbleys signature hole, which we weren't massively keen on, kind of thing. And when we spotted that, you're in your own little world when you're playing, and then the train goes by, and like I've got camera out, and I'm like, oh, Chris, shit, look, that's SNA, like, as if it was a big surprise, like, oh my god, it's only there. Like, we knew that, but you didn't know where you were on the course. And the first thing we both said to each other went, oh, do you remember that guy in the pro shop? We're like, it sticks.
It does.
It really does. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, everything seems to be overwhelmingly positive. You know, one of the best course you've never heard of.
Interesting, right.
Most avid golfers come to Liverpool area to play the 3 open venues here. Need to do some work in his spelling. But there are other hidden gems, of which Wallasey is definitely one. It has a great history, starting with the original design by old Tom Morris, and talking about Bobby Jones as well, who played a qualifying round here and became an ardent fan.
Ardent Fane.
Fan, I think that meant.
Amazing. Amazing.
You know, excellent course, outstanding club, must-play course. Had the pleasure of playing this course recently. It's majestic, great views over the Mersey, and a great course with immaculate fairways and greens. And that kind of is very consistent across a lot of the messages that you do see on the reviews.
Majestic's not a word you hear that often, is it? I'm just going to start using that. It's a good word.
It is a good
Majestic.
word. Majestic.
Yeah,
Associate majestic and wine, but you know.
Yes, true.
It's just
true.
The only thing that was even.
I have had a bit of a preview of this review, so you're right to
it was the only thing that you know that said I'm not a golfer. And it wasn't meant in that tone at all. I just want to be comedic. Went here yesterday for a funeral wake, a sad occasion, but I just wanted to say that the buffet was really superb, and that particularly the friendly, speedy, and first-class attention paid to me by the chef, Stu. I mentioned to him that I had a wheat allergy, and he immediately said that he would put together a gluten-free sandwich for me. In no time at all, I was served the best plate of ham and chicken toasty plus drizzled side salad that I've ever had. Wonderful. This sympathetic catering for someone with an allergy is sadly very unusual and definitely deserves noting. I hope someone at the club passes it on to him with due praise.
Signed, Nish. Well, look, my ears pricked up with wheat allergy straight away.
It did indeed.
Amazing. Well, look,
it's nice that people review things that other than just the golf and the golf course, though, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, you know, you're reviewing a top 100 golf course.
I was scraping the bottom of the barrel there, but
that's funny, isn't it? Yeah. Well, look, if there's nothing else you take away from this preview, and that is have your wake at Wallasey. There's a bit of alliteration there. A wonderful wake at Wallasey. There we go. I should be in marketing. I think that's what I should do. Right.
Pretty much were.
Let's move on quickly. Right. So we're saying all the reviews are good, which is great. I mean, obviously, we should be very happy about that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Just there were no funny ones.
I know. Oh, it's too windy, you know, something like that. So, you know, you're overlooking Liverpool Bay. You've got views of the Irish Sea and and Snowdonia. I can't remember what the Welsh name is. Apologies for our listeners. Whitford. I don't know.
No, it's Eryri, isn't it? Eryri or something.
Eryri,
like
so yeah, because Whitford's Snowdon. Again, apologies for my pronunciation. But I think
for my pronunciation. It's Snowdonia, for God's sake.
I think you are in for a real treat there. Actually, I mean, I looking at the website, and seeing the views. I've got it here.
Majestic.
Majestic.
That's what it
Fine.
was.
No, it looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Traditional true links course. I think you're going to get an amazing welcome, and hopefully it will be the true links experience in terms of the weather and everything else. Maybe. I don't know.
Weather watch again, eh? Weather watch again. Well, look, these are the bits that Chris was probably going to go through, but I'll go through. I'll channel my inner Chris here now. So it's a par 72 standard championship par. It's from the championship tees, the tips as you'd call them. It's 6,650 yards, so it's not that long actually. But I can imagine because of where it is and the terrain and things like that, the wind kicks up. That's when your distances start getting right royally messed up. Now the course is got a 136 slope rating, and I think it was out of 155 was the max rating. So I imagine our handicaps will go up 2 to 3 shots at least, I would have said. So again, it's not too tricky, I don't think. That's the thing I'm taking away from that. In terms of its layout, it's got an outer loop and then an inner loop. So that's a bit like Muirfields like that, apparently, where you play like around the perimeter of the course and then you do the inside bit, and then that's when you end up back at the clubhouse. So famed for its plateau greens. Now, plateau greens, I think we faced at West Lancs. Me and Chris weren't massively fans of that because it penalised you quite a lot if you missed. And if you just missed just a little bit, then you know, big runoff areas, all this kind of thing. So we don't know. I've not seen the pictures because I think Chris would have done that. So I don't think we're talking maybe West Lancs levels where they were raised quite a lot and you had these big runoff areas. But a lot of elevated tees and classic, that Southport area, you're going to have deep pot bunkers, all that kind of thing. Now, bunkers has just reminded me. So I should bring this up, but I would normally bring this up in the Hillside Review, and we were going to do that today, but we can't now. But you must hear this information, Jim. I hadn't hit a bunker at Hillside till hole 17 off my tee shot. And that happened because I stood on 17 and I was like, I've not hit a bunker today. I just take some confidence into the tee shot. Hit it really, really well. And it just started drifting right a little bit. And I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, it's on a line with it, but that's going to drop short. My distance I wasn't driving it particularly long. No, I creamed one, didn't I? And it just kept going. I was like, oh, great. So I ended up in that bunker. Got out first time, which was patting my own back. Then I hit my tee shot.
I'm sure the group behind were obviously pleased as well.
They would have known, wouldn't they? Oh, no, not. I've seen him at Carnoustie. And then get up on 18, and I'm like, same thing. Like, fine. Bunker's out of the way. Like, let's just give it a go. Same thing, hit it really well, starts drifting. I'm like, oh, I think that's going in the bunker, isn't it? And then weirdly, I like lost sight of it just in the last sort of 5-10 yards. I just take Chris sniggering next to me, just going, yeah, you're in the bunker, mate. I was like, oh, okay, great. Get out that first time. But my shot went straight into the bunker that was behind the one that was in already. So I was like, oh, great. So I did hit a bunker for 17 holes, and I've hit 3 now in 2 holes, but got out of all of them first time. So there's some progress there,
there's
mate.
Progress there, definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna wreck my day. And then this is the interesting bit that we mentioned. Old Tom Morris, designer.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 of his original greens that are still in existence and still in use. So that is on the second. The second hole is actually famous for the other reason, and that's where Dr. Frank had his Eureka moment.
He must have had a really bad first hole.
It must have been a really bad first hole. Yeah, that's it. Oh, God, yeah. The 7th, the 8th, and the 12th. They're the original Tom Morris greens, and they survive. So that'll be quite nice, and we'll make a little bit of probably a feature of that as we play. And then I'm going to say this because I know how you're going to respond. Holes to watch are going to be the second, obviously, famous. There's a plaque on the second.
There should be.
On the tee.
On a bench.
And I think actually I hear, and I remember jumping through to a couple of other things, but I hear there are a few other plaques around as well, like for Bobby Jones and things like that. I love that sort of stuff because like you feel like you're in a historic place then,
absolutely.
don't you? You know, the 4th apparently is a wonderful elevated tee, so you're getting good 360-degree panoramic views. You've then got the 12th, which is described as having more sand than putting surface, and it's only 150 yards from the championship tee. It's a par 3, so that's going to be an interesting hole to play on. It's an interesting one for Chris's par hole in one challenge. And then we've got 17 and 18 are described as exceptional finishing holes. With the 18th, you finish with the clubhouse is just a matter of a few steps away from the 18th green.
Oh, goodness gracious, yeah. Watch out, people.
Watch out, members. 4 incoming.
So what time of the day are you playing?
I think we're teeing off at like 11 or something like that. So hopefully they're not going to be too many people having lunch. That's the time when it's probably going to be really crowded. But you might have a few people. I don't think we're playing on a Tuesday as well. So I'm keeping fingers crossed our gallery is going to be greatly reduced. But then it is... Depends how many...
Is it Friday you play? Sorry.
No, it's a Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, there'll be no one there. No one waits in Liverpool, though.
Thank fuck for that. Oh, great. Cut. But yeah, but that 18th is Bernard Darwin, one of our mates as well from the podcast. He is somebody who again described that 18th. So I think they've kept that as it has been and should be. Now, at this point, I'm going to bring Jim back in out from the cold for the signature hole challenge, which was tricky to work out because AI was not helping.
And I've just put it in again, and it's gone back to what it said when I looked at it yesterday. But again, we were chatting about this only 30 minutes ago. And when I re-put the search in, it said something completely different. So there is a glitch in the matrix, people. So, I mean, I'm sure we can appreciate that with all the crazy stuff going on in the world.
Oh, hang on a minute.
I'm not getting political.
We're not blaming DJT for AI. Yeah, I am. I'll do that. No problem. Yeah. Was it blown up a server somewhere or something like that?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's all in Diego
Garcia.
Garcia.
There is a wider point here, and probably you can give us more info on this, but it's been a bit of a struggle finding these signature holes, hasn't it?
It has more recently. Yeah. You know, you don't expect it to just pop up when you put it in the search engine, and I think it might be down to the clubs. They don't necessarily want to have a signature hole because they think all 18 are great. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think, you know, particularly with a course like Wallasey, which is relatively up and coming, I suppose, in many ways. It's only recently come into the top 100. They've done a lot of work to it to kind of bring it up to standards. It's now on people's radars. Then, you know, it's more, I think, the golfers who make the decision as to what the signature holes are.
Yeah, okay.
Rather than the club themselves.
Yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? We've had a couple of places where we've asked what the signature hole is, and yeah, they'll go, "Oh, many people would say," and I think I don't know. I mean, I think if we're thinking back to this, which is going back 2 years almost, and I can't remember what's happened 2 days ago, let alone 2 years ago. But I think this all started off because we played Moortown, didn't we? And Moortown were like. It was in your face. Gibraltar.
Yeah, that's one that sticks out in the memory, doesn't it?
And SNA were as well. Gumbleys, that's our signature hole. Because we played those two so close together and that was a thing, we're like, oh, let's make this a thing. Like, well, I said Chris decided after he's already 3 up. Classic. I absolutely pasted him at Hillside, by the way. You're going to enjoy watching that video. But it was over before we left the tee. It was so good, so satisfying. He was like,
shit, he's not here.
Do you want me to bother filming the rest of it? I was like, absolutely, you're fucking filming the rest of it, mate. If that's your punishment for getting pasted on this one. But, and then since then, it has been a bit of it's tricky, what's the signature like? But yeah, okay, so what are we
well, I would say go back to... We'll come back to that in a second, but just on what AI said 30 minutes ago or so, it said, One of the greatest holes in this course is hole 1, a notable place to start. You're just thinking, well, you're always going to start at the first hole, aren't you?
Who doesn't start at hole number 1? Like, it's just a stupid point, isn't it?
Yeah, so please, people out there, just don't fucking trust
Don't
exactly
trust AI.
what.
Well, the we had this in one of our episodes, one of our preview episodes recently, and it was the hillside preview. That was it. So you do your initial research. You know, you can use AI well, and you can use it unwisely. And using it well is just lets us, just
The
a lot
Walker
of
Cup thing.
information. Yeah. Oh, it was the yeah. Like, how have you got that so wrong? But genuinely, for a second, I was like, why have they not put it on their website? If they got hang on a minute, don't trust ChatGPT, that kind of thing. So it's like
Not necessarily. It still needs a lot of work, people. So
there are other AI agents, but
there are indeed, but they're all getting the information from the same places. So it depends what it throws up. Won't go into AI and
absolutely.
investment advice, but just be careful. It's not exactly accurate.
Careful out there, folks. It's a dangerous world.
It's a dangerous world.
But we've not been given a definitive signature hole.
No. Well, I think we kind of have now. Actually, this has come back. I've just re-entered the search, and the signature hole at Wallasey Golf Club is widely considered to be hole 10, a challenging par 4 that features a dramatic approach over a deep valley and a well-protected green.
That sounds about right, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
renowned for its strategic layout and scenic views, with recent improvements to the area left of the green. And I think it's an elevated tee as well. But if you go on other websites...
If we ask the pro or the course manager and he changes that, are we allowed to change it on the challenge, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be interested to get what his answer is.
Well, then there's this Find Golf website, and it has signature holes, and it talks about a lot about the history. It's quite informative, actually. I find it very, very interesting. But then signature hole 4, par 5, 520 yards, hole 16, par 3, 180 yards, hole 18, par 4, 400 yards. So it sounds like there are actually some really, I think you're in for a treat, as I said before, that there are so many holes which you could view as signature.
Yeah, I was taking the mickey out of that, but actually that does bode well, doesn't it?
It does absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's
Like
it's just popped into the top 100, but it looks like it's it's a course that's on the ascendancy. They've paid a lot of attention to it. They made a lot of changes to it recently, and it's getting into people's psyche. They're thinking about, right, when we go to the northwest of England, on England's Gulf Coast. Right, well, there's the 3 next to each other up near Southport. You've got Hoylake, Royal Liverpool, and now you've got Wallasey. So it's...
Yeah, I mean, one thing I should probably bring up is how much the round costs. So probably gives you more of that perspective of where it's at. So a weekday round costs £235. A weekend round costs £255. Okay. In March, that's 140 for weekday, 160 for weekend, which I think is great value. And in October, so they took the shoulder seasons here. In October, you've got 180 for the weekend, 180 for the weekday, 210 for the weekend. So in the summertime, a weekend round is £255. Well, let's average it out at 240, 245. When you compare that to what's around it, so Hillside is 300 in the summer. Birkdale is mid 300. I think it's like 360-ish, I think. SNA, forgive me, but I think SNA is around about 300-ish, I think. I'm not sure. It might be a bit less than that. So it's there, isn't it, in terms of green fee. Now, we're learning now that there's decent manipulation of the green fee to change the perception of that golf course to essentially golf tourists.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting to find out now. Like, where are we? Because it is a new entrant. If you're an existing one, and I keep referencing Hillside. And apologies to Wallasey for doing that, but because it's the most recent round that we've had. Hillside is ranked 51, so it's comfortably in the top 100. It's not leaving that anytime soon. It's been in there for ages. So you've got a good barometer there to compare it against. And it'll be interesting to see now, because of what you said about the Signature Hole Challenge and the difficulty in actually nailing down the signature hole, does this place have the highlights then that actually that number starts becoming really good value of 255 as opposed to a 300, 360, whatever it is in the neighbouring courses. So yeah, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that and just sort of see. And hopefully that's what this review and preview is gonna provide, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sort of I can't say putting it on the map. That makes us sound like we're discovering all these golf courses. But now a few things that the reason I brought up the green fee is then that leads me into the kind of the experience of the day, and there's you can go to but you can go to other podcasts and you can go to the website and things to get your full technical course reviews and let's nerd out on the fescue grass and all this sort of stuff. Like, that's not us, mostly, right? So for us, I'm playing one round this year at a top 100. We'll take our society as an example. I mean, Chris was talking about this on the way back from our recent round, and we were like, the guys who were coming with us, we've got 20 people playing with us at Burnham and Berrow. And we're doing so much to make sure the day is really good for them and the weekend is really good for them and is value added and whatever, because we know from speaking to the guys that they were only playing one top 100 course this year, which is with us. And actually, the experience does matter. If you're spending multiple hundreds of pounds, it's hugely important, because we aren't at the level where we're going to nerd out on, my goodness, like all the sight lines. Oh, isn't the routing really good? And all it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, once you've met the course manager at Wallasey, you'll know a lot more.
This is it. But so here's the stuff I've picked out about this experience, Jim. Might give you an idea about my psyche. So plaques all over the place celebrating history. That for me is like winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
There are some lovely old wooden lockers in the clubhouse. And again, I love that. Like, I went to a really old traditional school that had all these like honours boards and whatever. Like, I love all of that sort of stuff. It's a bit of nostalgia for me. You get in, you can smell all the history and other things in the club.
The weed and
I was talking about pipe smoke, but yeah. Now, the clubhouse was refurbished in 2020, so it's got an extended balcony, which makes that 18th hole is going to be tricky. But hopefully it's Tuesday, and you're right. It might not be busy, but it might be. Who knows? But it's kind of like they've obviously then celebrating the history of the club, and it's celebrated history in the clubhouse. Quite visibly. They have a starter on the first tee who gives you a little bit of a history lesson about Stableford before you hit your first tee shot, which is amazing. And we had that a bit at Cruden Bay. And while Chris hated the golf course, that whole bit that was before we even teed off was, yeah, it felt really, really nice. And even at West Lancs, we played in their open competition. They had a starter, and he just was brilliant. Like, I used to get nervous about what they think about your golf, and I've just realised that they really don't give a shit about your golf.
They're just so passionate about.
They love they want to sell the club to you. Yeah. That's it, and the course. Mm-hmm. And once that mindset changes, you just have a bit of a laugh with them, and it's all hunky dory. And then there's one bit of history that is quite well celebrated in the club. And I'll probably just read this as I've written it, because I don't want to do it justice. But there was a chap called Sir Ernest Royden, who was an ex-captain of Wallasey, and he commissioned a portrait of Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones, regarded as one of the best players of his generation, and that was by an artist called John A. Berry. Now, Jones, when he saw this portrait, was so delighted by it, he actually signed it himself. And while that doesn't sound like a big deal now, because people just pen their autograph on anything, it's actually the only time he ever signed a portrait, which is crazy. And even more crazy of this is that he liked it that much, he then commissioned Berry to paint a total replica. And that replica now hangs in the clubhouse at Augusta National, which is unbelievable. So Wallasey has the original, Augusta has the replica and the copy. Like, that's incredible.
Is the Augusta one signed?
Well, I don't know. That's a good point. I haven't checked that, actually. Is the other one? notwithstanding Stableford, there is a thing there that really puts Wallasey on the golfing map, and people should be aware of stuff like this. So I thought that was like unbelievable. So naturally, I will be nerding out on all this sort of stuff, and I'll have my camera out as much as possible. But website, we've not really talked about that, but the website we both said was really good, didn't we?
Really liked it. Yeah.
Enjoyable. You were going to say it was really enjoyable. You were going to say that, weren't you? Thoroughly enjoyable website. What website were you on? That was the next tab, wasn't it? It was a really good website, and it's not your stereotypical top 100 course website where they all look the same sections, whatever. They've obviously had more of a hand in the design and the way they want it to put out, and it does really sell that history, I think, really well. But also, it does come through the way it's worded. Somebody's obviously gone ahead and written all those words, and the way it's all done, the friendliness does come out of there as well, which is difficult to put your finger on what's done that, but you do get the feeling that it is just a welcoming place to be. So we are looking forward to that very much so. Now that doesn't handily bring us on, but leaves us with one further thing to discuss, Jim.
Would this be the side bet?
This would be the side bet that we haven't done for a while, yeah, because we didn't have the opportunity last couple of previews, but we have the opportunity for a side bet, and I wonder what that's going to be.
Well, I think, given the history, because of what Dr. Frank Stableford did has done for golf and for amateur golf and recreational golf.
My hero. Absolutely.
That's the side bet is obvious, isn't it?
Doing a Stableford competition.
Absolutely.
Yes. We've got to be criminal.
You couldn't not to.
Yeah, absolutely criminal. Well, look, it was literally invented for me, Stableford, wasn't it? To level the playing field with Chris.
I don't think he'll be too happy about it, but
I can say like Dr. Frank Stableford is my patron saint. Can I have that? Like, should I get like a locket with his imagery in it? And that's like kiss it every time I go and play golf because I beat Chris on Stableford at Hillside as well. So yeah. Oh mate, that's gonna be great. And actually, we'll do it properly like that. We'll keep we have our individual scores in there anyway, but we will keep updating each other with like how many points have we got, all that kind of thing. I think that'd be really, really good to do. We'll do it legit, because we always do the tot up at the end, and it's only at the end that I go, oh, by the way, on net or Stableford I've beaten you, that kind of thing. It doesn't build up any tension or anything like that. So we'll get the points.
Wow, this is escalating. Is this the Loch Lomond thing? Bloody hell, let it go, man.
I can't, mate. I can't. First
fuck
him
over. I'm going to fuck you over, Chris.
First chance he had. Straight over.
Wow.
That
was your fault anyway, really.
It was really,
you gave him the bloody opportunity.
I gave him the round at Loch Lomond, yeah. I'm regretting it now. How do I get this offer rescinded?
Hope the midges are out in force.
Oh, it's going to be mid-central, isn't it? In May, isn't it? In May in Scotland, is that mid-central?
Could be. It could
by
be.
a lake, isn't it, though? So Loch Lomond. So that'll serve him right, won't it? That'll serve him right. You'd forget the insect repellent. I know what Chris is like.
Replace it.
Bag. Yeah.
Insect attraction.
Oh, God, yeah, in mosquito pheromones. That's the one. What is going on today? Absolutely everywhere. Well, look, Jim, I think I had like 3 pages of notes here, and I think we've actually covered it quite well with that, Chris. I don't think we actually need him, do we?
1 page of notes.
Exactly. Right.
I made notes. Paper and pad and everything as well.
I know, old school. Actual handwriting. What's this? Yeah.
I mean, it is scruffy as anything because I'm not used to it, but I can just about read it even though I haven't got my glasses.
Yeah. I can't live without autocorrect, unfortunately. That's the thing. So wonderful. I think that was a great preview of what's going to be a great round. History, cracking golf course by all accounts, and just and an interview, which again with to Gareth and John, of course, who is going to be interviewed. We're so grateful that you've agreed to do that, because it really does make the review episode a lot better when we've got somebody from the club.
Yeah,
A lot
I
better.
agree.
I say a lot better. It makes it a hell of a lot better every time we got some
Absolutely.
representation.
No, it is. It is. It's great that people are giving the time and getting involved and helping.
Next time on the Top 110 Golf Podcast, we'll be reviewing our first Society Day, or weekend, I should say, of 2026, which is at Burnham and Berrow Golf Club. That's going to be an unbelievable episode because we've got a 20-man field, and already the group chat is just, it's like nuclear. Like everyone's just going all in on everybody, so it's going to be a great weekend of banter and hopefully some good golf as well.
I know most of them, it's not going to be good banter.
Oh, he's fired some shots there. All right, well, yeah. Until next time.